Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So let us start our final class by paying homage to Buddha by saying Namo Tassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samba Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samba Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samba Sambuddhassa.
Sayalay. Sayalay dengan timur.
So can I start now?
Yes, Sayalay.
Okay, thank you very much. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to our last lecture on the Patana law of causal relations in our daily life. So sorry to keep you waiting. Then not taking much of our time, I will move on to our lecture. So last week, I was trying to touch upon the law of cause and effect, or the dependent origination, which I couldn't finish due to some technical inconveniences. So comparing to or talking about the law of cause and effect, last week we have already seen that there are altogether three kinds of teaching, in which the Four Noble Truths is the most concise or the most summarized form, which explain about cause and effect. And for the cause, we can see that the cause of suffering and the way leading to the cessation of suffering, these are the cause, and the effect being suffering and the cessation of suffering. And another teaching, which is neither very much concise or not very much in detail, that is the Paticca-samuppada. In that Paticca-samuppada, the Buddha has explained, and the Buddha himself has reflected this Paticca-samuppada before or just prior to the attainment of the enlightenment. There we can have two kinds of teaching. The one is in the ascending order, like because of the ignorance, there is the volitional activities. It means because we did not know, we did many actions, both good and bad, or wholesome and unwholesome in our past. And sankhara paccaya vijnana, because of our action, mostly more of the positive or the wholesome karma, then we are born as a human being. This is how sankhara paccaya vijnana arises. This is what we call ascending order or the anuloma order. And in the reverse order, when the ignorance ceases, then there is no more sankhara. It means in the arahanta, with the cessation or with the total eradication of the ignorance, which is latent or uprooted, anusaya or anuseti in our mental continuum. So when it is totally ceased or come to the cessation, there is no more activities. That's why even though the arahants or the highest noble person perform the wholesome deeds or the meritorious deeds, it is just counted to be the functional. It means it will not produce result. So that is the meaning. Then when the ignorance ceases, the volitional activities or the sankhara also ceases. when there is no more sankhara, definitely no more rebirth, right? So avijja nirodha, sankhara nirodho. And then when there is no more volitional activities, or with the cessation of the volitional activities, no more rebirth, sankhara nirodha, vijnana nirodha. So this is the reverse order, right? So this is how the Paticcasamuppada explained. Then when coming to the Patthana, since last week, we have seen that this Patthana, or the causal relations, it has one more component which is very significant and which no other teaching on the cause and effect shares. So that is the, in addition to the cause, which in Pali we call paccaya. So at least we got to remember this word paccaya, okay? In Burmese we call pisi. And then effect, that is the paccaya upana. Paccaya is the cause, upana is the arising. So result that arises because of the cause, that is the paccaya upana, that is the effect or the result that is caused or bring about or produced by this cause. And more importantly, the conditional forces or the causal efficacy of the condition. So this is what Patthana explained. So this conditional forces or the causal efficacy we call paccaya sati. Okay, sati means these forces, efficacy or the power. So, and here we have the overview of the conditional relations Patthana. So that is the detailed exposition of the interrelation between mental and material phenomena in various ways. I hope that you would remember this time. At the very beginning of our first lecture, then we have seen Abhidhamma teaching is the Nama Rupa Paricheda Katha. That is differentiation or discernment or analysis of mind and matter. So our physical body, which is composed of the 5 aggregates, or in another way, mind and matter, is just mere functioning of these phenomena. So understanding this will lead to the removal or dispelling of the illusions of the self, soul, and being, or the individual, atta, jiva, and pokala, right? So here, 3 main components of Patthana, here as I have explained. The first one, conditioning state or cause. So the cause is used in or expressed or explained in another word. That is the conditioning forces. It is something that does, right? That is the paccaya dhamma. So how does the cause create or produce another result or effect? So here it is explained. The phenomena that functions another phenomena, that means the cause, it may by producing them. The first one, and another one supporting or reinforcing them, right? So it means that you grow a plant. What do you have to do? That is like you try to nurture the plant. You have to take care of it, you water it, and you give sort of like chemicals like fertilizer or whatever nutriment the tree or the plant would need. You would provide that. In that way, you try to take care of the tree so that it grows well and it is blooming and it also bears fruit. So when the cause produce effect, they are based on these criteria it perform. That is producing one fact, another one supporting, creating the conditions to grow well, and then reinforcing them, making it stronger. And another one, conditionally arisen state or effect, that is the paccaya upana, and the conditioning forces or the conditioned paccaya sati. So it means Patthana means particular way in which the cause produce or support the effect, or how the cause reinforce the effect or the result. That is the meaning. Maybe it sounds rather technical at the outset, but I hope that with the example that we will have it later, you will have better understanding of this. last week, we have also studied that among the profound teachings of the Buddha, this Paticca Samuppada, and we also have this Patthana. So it is actually very deep and very wide. And what I'm just giving is like a taste, or just giving you a menu or just a catalog of it, so that later you can explore further. Sorry. 24 conditions. So that is the first one is the root condition, hetu paccaya. That is how the root of the tree, it makes the tree stronger. When we say the tree, along with the branches, the leaves, and the fruits and the flowers as well. Another one, object condition, that is the aramana paccaya. So we would see that the mind is never without the object. The mind is always without the object, and how the object would predominate us. So this is the meaning. So in this way, here I have given you a list of the 24 conditions paccaya. So here I will go one by one. The first one is the hetu paccaya. Hetu paccaya, root condition. We have already learned about the 6 kinds of roots. 3 unwholesome roots, that is lobha, craving, attachment, clinging, dosa, animosity, hatred, dislike, and then sort of this disappointment, upsetting, depression. All these belong to this dosa. And moha, not knowing what should be done, what should not be done, that is the moha. So citta rooted in those we call like citta rooted in greed, rooted in hatred, rooted in delusion. So when we talk about the plant, which has strong root and which has doesn't have strong root, those with the strong root, because they can go deeper into the earth, it cannot be easily shaken or it cannot be easily removed. In the same way, those citta that are with the root are considered to be strong type of cittas. And on the contrary, down there in the first column, you might see in the third line, you might see 2 columns, 3 wholesome roots and 3 indeterminate roots. Wholesome roots, we know, by these 3, either wholesome or indeterminate, we refer to the alobha, non-greed or anti-greed, adosa, non-hatred or anti-hatred, that also where metta is part of adosa, and non-delusion or amoha, that is the panya or wisdom. Because, you know, these 3 kind of roots, alobha, adosa, and amoha, when they are together with the kusala or wholesome citta, they are called wholesome root. But please note, they can also arise with the functional consciousness. For example, functional consciousness means consciousness in the arahanta, because arahanta is the highest noble person who have totally eradicated, who have completely destroyed the mental defilements, so that there is no rebirth for that person, in that even though they perform meritorious deeds, it is not termed as the kusala, but kiriya, just mere doing or functional. Because they're not going to born, they do not need any result for the next life. So Arahant also cultivate, yes, compassion or the appreciative joy or the loving kindness. So when Arahant cultivate compassion that may beings be liberated very soon from this COVID-19, for example, that citta is known as the kiriya citta, and it is termed as the indeterminate. Indeterminate in the sense that in Pali it is abhyagata. Abhyagata literally means not expounded as kusala, neither expounded as kusala nor akusala. So it refers to, by abhyagata, we refer to the functional, that is the kiriya citta, and the resultant, that is the vipaka citta. So when they arise in the Arahant, these roots, they are termed as indeterminate roots. That's it. They are the same actually. So on the left column, in the condition, we have these 6 kinds of roots, but we understand that they arise one at a time, like greed, hatred, and delusion. One at a time, means for delusion, there is the, they are always in our background. Even now we are discussing Dhamma. Delusion is latent, underlying under the surface within us. It is not prominent, but they are there at the background, like the gangster. He won't come up to the public, but he is just controlling from the background, and his team is working. So when we say there is greed or lobha, there is greed, and in addition to that, we have delusion, moha as well. So this is the meaning. And on the right column, conditioned state, that is the 71 rooted consciousness, sahetuka cheda. At least we know that there are 89 chedas, and that cheda has been classified in various ways. Another way of classification is by means of root, or cheda with root, and cheda without root. So we have among the 54 cheda that arise mostly in our human plane, or let's say the karma plane, we also have the rootless or ahetuka chedas. So apart from that 18 ahetuka cheda, the remaining, because they are together with root, it means along either with lobha, dosa, or moha, or alobha, adosa, and ma'a, moha. Simply, they are called as the rooted consciousness. So when we say about consciousness, consciousness never arises alone, but always together with the mental states. That's why here we take the maximum number. So on the right column, in number 2, we can see 52 mental states. So except moha in the moha mula cheda. And another one, rupa as well, matters born of rooted consciousness. And number 4, matters born of karma at rebirth. So it sounds very technical, but let's have this example. Suppose I'm angry. How do I look like? There is the angry mind. My mind is rooted in anger, right? Then my face also changes, and so is my voice. And maybe I would be looking like trembling, and my eyes would become red or may become watery, because I'm angry, and my voice is like trembling, and my hands might be shaking, and my blood pressure is going high, and I have headache, and suddenly I also have stomach ache. It means how the doors of anger bring changes to our physical body. This is the meaning. So it means that by root condition, we got to understand that when there is any one of these 6 roots, or either some roots present in us, then because the mind, rooted in the mind, there are some changes in our physical body, right? And in the same way, what happens when you practice meditation? You feel so light and peaceful in your body. So your body is relaxed, your mind is relaxed, you relax your face, like you relax the nerves, and you might have done it many times. And how do you feel? You feel light, there is lahuta, right? Your mind is soft, not rigid anymore, muduta. And then kaminyata, you are ready to do anything good, either to continue meditation or to do dana, or to listen to the Dhamma, or to share your Dhamma, or to you rejoice in the merit shared by others, and so on. So this is how the mind brings changes to the physical body as the root condition, that is the hetu pacaya, okay? So here, just for some introduction, here I have quoted some Pali words. Because in the Patthana text, we have altogether 5 volumes, over 2,000 pages. Then we have these 24 conditions that has been enumerated in brief. After that, we have what we call Pacaya Nedesa. That is sort of like medium teaching, we have to say. Actually, there is no word as such, but I try to make it simple, you know. These 5 volume set of Patthana has been summarized, or these 24 conditions has been summarized in this, what we call Pajaya Nedesa, and I have extracted from that. And we, Myanmar people are fond of reciting that. Some understand well, and some can recite well, but some are also doing to gain merit and to have some concentration of mind, or just to pay respect to the Buddha, or just to have some good fortunes in life. And people are reciting Patthana for many conditions, on many conditions. So this is what I have extracted from that. So it says, please see in the 3rd line. I hope you can read, or if not, you can just listen. He do. The first line, sorry, he do. He do means it refers to all the 6 roots. What happened? That root, he do sampayogdaganan dhammanam. Sampayogda, associated. It means it existed together. Dhammanam, dhamma. So the dhamma that associate with that he do. Right? And then it refers to the consciousness and the mental states. For example, you are doing kusala, meditation, or observing precept, or giving charity, then your jada is the kusala jada. And that kusala jada associate with a group of mental states. This is what we call sampayogda dhamma. So when we recite Patthana, it is important we recite carefully. He do sampayogdaganan dhammanam. Sometimes I have heard of some people reciting very quickly, and even somewhat seem to have swallowed, somewhat seem to have disappeared on the way, because they're doing so fast. So at least each and every word should be pronounced clearly. Yes, you can do faster. For some people, they are very bright and intelligent, and they can recite faster. It does not mean that those who recite slower are not bright and intelligent. It depends on their inclination, on their desire. But what is important is that each and every word should be pronounced or articulated clearly, so that the meaning didn't get disright, or disright mean like the meaning didn't get lost, sorry. So, and then apart from this jada and jitasika, tam samothana nanja rupanam. Samothana, that cause, rupa. The physical changes that is caused by that kusala jada. Let's say aloba, adosa, and amoha. What happened? Hetu pachayena pachayo. It's related by root condition. So this is the meaning. So it would recite that way. Hetu pachayoti, hetu sampayogdaganam, dhammanam, tam samothana nanja rupanam, hetu pachayena pachayo. So this is how we understand. I won't recite all. This is just some sample if you are not yet familiar. Then moving on to another one, aramana pachayo. We have altogether 24 conditions. You know, there are different ways of explaining these conditions. Some teachers, they try to make a group, form a group, like how mind is related to mind, how mind is related to matter, and how matter is related to mind, and so on. They form that group and they teach that way. But for me, I think that since this is the introduction and also to the application of Patthana, I think I would go each condition one by one. So let me move on to another, aramana pachaya, that is the object condition. So you might see that I have many slides today. Actually, some slides may not be necessarily to be written here, but to recall your memory and to have a clear understanding of the these conditions, then I have made quite a lot. So actually, when we talk about the aramana pachaya, or the object condition, You know, the nature of consciousness is the awareness of the object. It means when we talk about object condition, then we always think in relation to the nature of consciousness. Because the nature of mind is simply knowing the object, awareness of the object, cognizing the object. So when we talk about mind, we cannot leave aside object. And in the same way, when we come to the object, of course, we got to know this is the nature of the mind, right? Then along with the consciousness, then, we have mental states, those that have to depend on consciousness for arising. It means that consciousness never arises alone, but always together with the mental states, at least 7 universal, which I will come back later. So when we say that this is, my mind is happy, or my mind is like confused, or I'm doubtful, there is always a combination of consciousness, jeta, and mental states, cetasika, working or existing or relating to each other. So this is very important and very fundamental principle of the mind, or what is expounded by the Abhidhamma. So consciousness and mental state, they arise together, they pass away, or they perish together, and they take the same object and the same base. And when we study about mental states, I remember that I have given this simple example. The students who go to the same institution, for example, and since they take the same specialization, they go to the same class. So their class timing arises at the same time. Their class start at the same time, right? Starting of the class is the same, and the finishing or the break time of the class is also the same. And also they have the same objective of learning, that arts or whatever, technology or medicine or whatever, and they have the same classroom. So we have this example. Then, as the nature of consciousness or jeta is knowing the object, when the jeta knows or take the object, mental states also take the same object, right? When the jeta, now you are hearing me, then what is the object? It is my voice. And I'm looking at you. I'm looking, I can see few people. I'm making sure that they understand or they are listening to me or what they are doing. Because normally we have the physical classroom, and when I am in the classroom, I look at the face of all the students and see if they are with me. So what I'm doing is also the same. Like I'm looking at some of the participants who are in my vision. So my vision, when the mind takes that visible object that is you or your movement, and the mental states also the same object. So there are altogether 6 kinds of object, and it covers all the ultimate realities. It means 89 jetas, 52 mental states or cetasika, all the 28 rupas. Of course, there is nibbana and paññatti as well. So the nature of aramana that we have already seen once, like a disabled person, it means who cannot walk very well or properly or very strongly. What does that person has to do? That person has to take the help of the walking staff or a rope line or a steel frame or something to walk. So in the same way, the mind take the object as the dependence. Later you will see that many conditions are relating to each other. When there is the hearing or seeing consciousness, there are many relations working together, not only the object condition, right? We will understand later as we go along. So that consciousness and mental states depend on the 6 objects for awareness. So this is the aramana paccaya, and altogether we have 6 objects. The first one, visible object. So everything that can be seen with the eye is included in that visible object. And so is the sound. either pleasant sound or unpleasant sound, or the sound that is clear or not clear, everything pertain to that sound, smell, taste, and tangibility. So when we talk about tangibility or tangible object, we are talking about the chapter on the rupa, and I hope that you remember the 4 great essentials, what in Pali we call Mahabhuta, or in Myanmar we call Mahabhut, that constitute Patavi, Abo, Tejo, and Vayo. By Patavi, we refer to the nature of hardness, softness, lightness, and heaviness. Abo, water element, cohesion, fluidity, liquidity, oozing, composing. These are what is represented by this Abo. And Tejo, heat and cold, or another one we also call as Udu, right? And then nutriment Ahara. Then this is what we have recently studied in the Rupa chapter, because Rupa come later than the Jada and Cetasika, and I hope you still have, at least when you remember, you still, when you hear the words, you still remember, or you could recall your memory back, hopefully. Then, apart from this object, the remaining object, it goes to the Dhamma object. So you have to, now you have to match the first column with the second and the third. It is like that. So now we can see number 1, visible object, Varna or Rupa. In Pali, we also call Rupa Ramana or Rupayo, right? Then number 6, by number 5, tangibility or tangible object is composed of the 3 Mahabhuta, Patavi, earth element, hardness, softness, etc. Tejo, heat and cold. Vayo, motion, moving, supporting, right? And when we come to the Dhamma object, all the remaining Rupa, because I hope at least you remember visible object, sound, smell, taste, tangibility, all these are Rupa, because they undergo obvious changes. Then all the sense organs, like eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and subtle matters, including Abo, and all Jadas, Cetasikas, Nibbana, and Penyati, they belong to the Dhamma object, so it is very wide-ranging. Then all these, this is the conditioning state, that is the cause. And on the most right column, we have conditioned state, that is the cause or effect, 89 Jadas or 52 Cetasikas. So it means that we can also look from the right side. What is the object of our mind? When we say our mind, that is along with the consciousness and mental states, nothing more than these 6 objects. So this is what this object condition tries to explain. We have this example. So today I have few charts, and I use the blue color in the white background. It may be not very convenient to print out, but I think for the time being you can see this, or at least you can listen to me. This is how eye consciousness arises depending on the visible object. So on the left we have 2. The first one is the eye base, our eye, sensitive part of our eye, right? And visible object. Now I'm saying that now we have the chart. Then you pay attention to that, then you see that, right? So this chart become your visible object because you are looking at this chart. So when this chart get into contact with a sensitive part of our eye, or what the science call the retina, we have eye consciousness. And along with that eye consciousness, we have a group of mental states, which we call 7 universal. The first one being contact, phassa, feeling, vedana, perception, or taking note, that is the sanya. And then the 4th one, we have motivation or volition, that is the cetana. And then one-pointedness, the mind being on the object, right? Ekagata, one-pointedness. When that one-pointedness is develop, it becomes concentration, and it becomes a jhana factor as well. And life faculty, that is the protection system, and attention, that is the manasikara. So this is what we are having right now. Looking at this chart, along with that eye consciousness or seeing consciousness, we have all these 7 factors, at least 7 factors working together, and these 8 become the basic unit of mind. Then we can relate back between this visible object and the eye consciousness. Then this visible object is the object for the eye consciousness, so is the sound for the ear consciousness, and so is the tangibility, like hardness, softness, we can touch. Now I'm touching the table, I can feel it is hot. And I'm sitting in the chair, I also feel the hardness. And as I'm sitting for like over half an hour, I feel the warmth as well, right? So this is how the natures are working together. Then moving on to that, aramana pachaya. Then again in this pachaya nedesa, it says that rupayadanam, by rupayadanam, it refers to the visible object, the object you are seeing, right? Chakku vinyana dhatuya is related to eye consciousness. So eye consciousness doesn't arise alone, but together with the associated mental states, it is represented by Dham sampayotaka nanja dhammanam, sampayota dhamma, associated dhamma that exist together. Aramana pachena pachayo, by way of object condition. So this is the meaning. And the same should be applied to the sound, sadayadanam, smell, gandayadanam, taste, rasayadanam, and then tangible object, puttabayadanam, manodaduya. The next one, tan sambyotaka nenja dhammanam, aramana pachena pachayo. Then together, sabbe dhamma, all the dhamma, all the dhamma, they are related to the remaining object, either in terms of mind element, manodhatu, or manovinyana dhatu. So what do we have here? Here I would like to introduce you with the thought process. Actually, we are rather short of time, but at least I should introduce you with this thought process. It means when we talk about seeing or hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching, let's say sense consciousness, which we are experiencing in our daily life, it goes in this series of consciousness. It cannot skip any order. It must be in this order as well. Like when you go to the office or when you go to the supermarket for buying, some people might overtake you. And you are in a queue, but that person overtake you and go in front of you. But this jada, they cannot do that way. It must be very systematic, must go according to this order, right? Then the first one, the first 3 moments, you can see past bhavanga, another one, vibrational bhavanga, and the third one, arrest bhavanga. So it represents 3 moments of bhavanga. I hope you remember. Let's recall our memory. What is the very first moment in our life? It means how does our life begin? Our life begins with rebirth, right? Rebirth or rebirth linking, which we call patisandhi. And we are born as a human being mainly because of our previous kusala or wholesome karma. So that jada is also resultant of wholesome, which we call Kama Vipaka or Maha Vipaka. Okay, please note this one at least. Our rebirth linking jada is the one of the 8 that Maha Vipaka jada, great resultant or the sense sphere resultant consciousness. And that jada, when it arises for the first time, it is known as rebirth linking. But that jada doesn't stop. It means that jada arises, it exists and it passes away, but the same type of jada, we would say, not the same jada. The same type of jada continues throughout the whole life, And as it continues arising in our life, it is given the name of Bhavanga. Bhavanga means Bhava and Anga. You know, Anga means factor. You might have heard of this term, Jananga, factor of Jana, Meganga, factor of Mega, Bojanga, factor of the body or the enlightenment, right? Anga means factor. And then life means our life, right? Bhava, Bhava is life. So as it continues arising in our life, it is given the name of life continuum Bhavanga. So its function is to continue life. So here we have this thought process. And even at the beginning of this thought process, you can see this Bhavanga. So in between the thought processes, now you are hearing me and you're also looking at me. You know you are sitting in the chair or sofa if you pay attention, right? These jada, we are knowing all these. But because they run so fast, we think that we know everything at the same time, right? You think that you can see me, you can hear me, then you know you are sitting in the chair, and if you're hungry, you might be having coffee, or it might be some meal time for you, you might be eating something. In that case, you might get some smell as well. You think that everything is happening at the same time, but actually it is not. Only one jada can arise at a time. And when it arises, that sense consciousness arises, it comes in a series, not alone, not just one itself. Then in between that thought process, or what we call VT, we have these moments of Bhavanga. So that's why now we have 3 moments of Bhavanga as the first, the second, and the third. After that, we have 5 door adverting. Then first let me read the type of consciousness. Later I will explain you, right? The first one is the past Bhavanga. Then we will look horizontally. Abbreviation I have used PSPH because later I have drawn this symbol so that we can see better. So for that symbol or the diagram, I have to use the abbreviation. It sounds so small, but later you can zoom in and you will be able to see, I hope. After 3 moments of Bhavanga, then we have 5 door adverting consciousness. Then number 5, we have seeing, then receiving, investigating, determining. The 9th one, it is most important, dynamic or the impulsion, which we call Javana, okay? You may not be able to remember everything, but this dynamic is important. At least please take note of that. Number 9, because we are very much interested in kusala and akusala, right? So this kusala and akusala arises at this dynamic or impulsion moment, which in Pali we call Javana, because it repeats for 7 times. You can also see on the 4th column, time or moment. And the next one, registration, that is taking that object. Then we can have this example. Then now you are joining the class. Then suddenly your phone rang. Your phone rang. You didn't pick up suddenly. So because you are here involved in this Dhamma class, but you know that there would be some important call coming, and inevitably you have to answer or you have to check the message or whatever. Okay, now the signal is coming, the vibration or the tone, the soft tone is coming, right? Then 1 moment passed by. It means you are still involving in the class. You cannot leave from this class yet, and you cannot answer that call yet. In between, there is 1 very short moment passes by. This is the past Bhavanga. In Pali, we call Atita Bhavanga. But at least you got alarm, right? You got alarm. There is the signal, the vibration or the sound, ding or something, then vibration. Then your mind, or you certainly moved. Okay, this is the symbol or the alarm is coming. This is the vibrational Bhavanga. But certainly you are so much involved in the class that you couldn't go immediately. Then one moment passes by. After that, you stop this class for a while. This is a rest bhavanga. Okay, you take a break from this class. Then what do? You pay attention to your phone, or you pay attention to the door, since the sound is from there. That is 5-door adverting consciousness. In Pali, we call Pancha Dwara Vajana. Pancha means 5, Dwara means door, Avijana means turning. Turning the mind towards the 5 door. So it is the metaphorical usage, right? Then even without turning your head, you can pay attention to that sound, right? It means your mind is pay attention. That's why in the public places, attention please, may I have your attention please, because you are doing some work and your attention is not there. So that announcer trying to get your attention, right? So because we have 5 sense doors, eye door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, and body door, it means the 5 sense organs, they are metaphorically known as the doors or dwara. So we have also seen that when we learn about the Rupa chapter, then it is given a general name. It didn't say attention in the eye door, not ear door. It is not given separate name, attention in the 5 door. It just gives a general name and it concerned with the other 5 senses. So when you pay attention, what happened? Either you see or you hear. Now you see the message, for example. You receive that. Then investigate, you read it. What is that? And you determine, yes, this is important. Or this is not important. You determine that. Then after that, there is dynamic. Then you think about that, or there are some thought arising in that. Right? Maybe like you are happy, or you got disturbed, or there must be some sort of activities there in the mind. So this is what is represented by this dynamic moment. And it runs for altogether 7 times. So if it is a very good news, then you are very happy. You are very happy. It can be either with kusala, or it can be either with like, if there is sort of attachment or clinging, it can be loba, mula, javana, or it can be maha kusala or something, right? Or maybe you get some good news that someone you have helped has been going along very well. Then you are very happy. Maha kusala cheda arises 7 times in your mind. And another one, registration. The Pali word is the tadaramana. Dam aramana. Dam means that. That aramana means object. So tadaramana literally means that object. That object means the object that has been taken or apprehended by this javana. It means the dharamana also take the same object, right? So this is how we can understand this thought process. And like in the commentary, we have another example to make you clearer. A man is sleeping under a mango tree, and he has covered his body with with a blanket or with some shawl. Then suddenly a mango fell down, and he got awake, right? Then before he got up and checked what the sound was, there is one moment that passes by. That is the past bhavanga, right? Atita bhavanga. And then his mind got shaken. Then vibrational bhavanga. His sleep got disturbed, let's say. That is the bhavanga jalana. And then he stopped his sleep. It means he wake up. Arrest bhavanga. So his former action was stopped. His former action of sleeping was stopped. And now he pay attention. Then that is 5-door adverting consciousness. Then after when paying attention, he see the mango. That is the jakku vijnana, or seeing consciousness or eye consciousness. Then he pick it up. He pick up the mango, receiving consciousness, and he smell it. Okay, that sound very fresh. So he just wipe it with his shawl. Then, okay, this is ripened and this is still fresh. I will eat it, determined. And after that, he enjoyed the mango. That is the dynamic moment, javana moment. And what has been left over, then he tried to taste and he swallowed up. This is like the Tadaramana or registration. Okay, moving on to that. Here, thought process and idol. Yeah, what I have tried to explain is the visible object is relating to I or seeing consciousness, the first one as the object. So here, you might notice the first one, PSPH means past Bhavanga, one moment of Bhavanga passes by, right? After that, we have BV vibrational Bhavanga. Then after that, we have arrest Bhavanga. Then adverting means attention. Then there is seeing. So this object that arises even before you see, the process started already, right? So this process to be taken from the past Bhavanga moment, because it belongs to the same series. Then you can see that this mango in the second example is the visible object for the eye. So in that it is the aramana. And you can see this mango has been dropped before you see, right? The mango is already dropped before you see. So the mango is there already. And we call this being born earlier, that is the purejata. Okay, later we will come back again. The mango already existed before you see. Okay, the mango dropped from the tree already on the ground. Even before you pay attention, mango is already there. It means mango existed earlier. So literally we say born earlier, existed earlier. Purejata, pure means before, right? And then while it is present, he see the mango while it is present. Suppose some, maybe like some birds or some crows or some animal take the mango before he see, it won't be there anymore. But when he see the mango mean, he see it when it is present, when it is there. This is the ati pajaya. And then avigata pajaya number 4, non-disappearance. Present means it is still there, it does not disappear, right? So this is the meaning. So this is how the thought process go. So in this way, we can see that conditions are relating to each other. What I'm focusing now is the object condition aramana, in that mango is the visible object, right? Then that mango already existed before he sees. That's why it is known as the purejata, existed earlier or born earlier, right? Than I consciousness. And you see that mango while it is present. That is the ati, presence, ati condition. It is included in this one of these 24 conditions. Then number 3 and 4, ati and avigata, present and disappearance is all the same. Just the wording is slightly different. Maybe some people understand this presence condition ati better, while some may be clearer with the usage non-disappearance. It means like given synonymous term. Like I use a lot of synonymous term as I explained when I explained about rupa. Rupa means changing, changing means transforming, transforming means perishing, perishing means spoiling, changing from one condition, original condition to another, like this. So at least there must be some word that you understand better, and that might be different from one another. So that's why though ati and avigata, present and disappearance, are different in wording, all the cause and condition and all the phenomena are exactly the same. They are identical. Okay, I have to move on because a lot more to go. Then understanding of this object condition. What do we gain by understanding this object condition? So eye sensitivity is the rupa, right? In our eye, our sense organ, our eye. Even in the eye, we have already studied that eye, there are 2 types of eye. The eyeball itself, that is the sambhara jaku, it doesn't have the, by eye sensitivity, it refers to a small part, which we call retina, the sensitive part of the eye. So suppose I got damage in my eye, If the retina is not imaged, not detect, not spoiled, I will be able to see it. So since eye sensitivity is rupa, and visible object is also rupa. So when these two matters or rupa contact with each other, eye consciousness is produced. That is the nama. Why do we have to reflect like this? So this reflects mere functioning of mind and matter. Sometimes you see something and you got very upset. Or you hear some people talking ill of you, then you got upset. Because there is I. The person is there. He or she is talking ill of me. I is there, right? Because, so what do? We carry that along. I will continue this in the next one, adhipati or predominant condition. Your thought has been overwhelmed with that sound. People who talk ill of me, that person talk ill of me, that person is never good, has never done good to me, has never done good to my dear ones, and always disturbing me and will never understanding me, and I wish that I will be always away from that person. The thought has been overwhelmed with that sound the whole day, for example. Sometimes it can continue even up to many days. What happened? We suffer. That person may or may not even know that. And I'm here suffering myself because that person, I take that person as person and I take myself to be I. Then what should we do? Maybe even though I didn't do anything wrong now, there may be some past karma or there may be some misunderstanding that person that talking to me that way. And if I will be able to reflect, this is the sound, me, not that person, the words or the sound, this is simply rupa. And that person say that and I hear that. So just mere functioning of mind and matter. Then when we reflect that often, or when we develop that habit, we suffer less. We have to make a habit. It doesn't come, I reflect one time and it doesn't come for life. Or I just reflect one time, but later anger will come, disappointment will come. So we have to make a habit. So when we could reflect it often and when we understand the mere working nature of mind and matter, what do? We dispel wrong view of self, soul, person, and also creator. Because some people believe that it has been created by somebody. There is the creator who will bear our evil consequences, right? Then when we take that way, we become very irresponsible. Like I will do anything I like, then the creator will save us. So that leads to the wrong view and it is dangerous, right? Because if you eat, you will be full and you will have energy, right? If you eat and I don't have energy, I don't gain any energy basically. So what I do, that result I will have to bear, I will have to suffer myself. Then also can reduce attachment and also understanding of impermanent suffering and non-soul nature. So this is the benefit that we gain by contemplating the working nature of nama and rupa by way of the object condition, for example. Another one, predominance condition, adhipati. So adhipati means supreme, chief, king, who is the highest authority, who has the highest authority, and two kinds of predominance. Object predominance. Object is aramana, predominance is adhipati. This is the third condition. We can see two are combined here. Object predominance. The sound, that person talk ill of me. I have been taking that seriously. Then it becomes outstanding object that draw my attention. Right? But here, so that object can be either something that you esteem, cherish, or strongly desire, or it can be strongly disliked, like the sound that somebody talk ill of me. That sound would be influencing or overwhelming me because it is so prominent. So the object, the sound, dominate me as the object. This is what is meant by object predominance. So this condition is identical with object decisive support, Aramana and Upanesaya. So you can see another combination, so you will understand better. So at least I hope that you understand this one, object predominance. It can be something very pleasant. You have been to a virtuous place, like, for example, magnificent Sri Dagong Pagoda, or you visited Bagan, or maybe you visited Angkor Wat or Emerald Buddha or whatever. Then you feel so revered and venerated in the mind. Then that object often appear in your mind, because this is predominating your mind, your thought. This is object predominance. Another one, Sahajada Adipati. So Adipati is twofold, object predominance, and another one is the born together predominance, co-nascence. So the English word nascence, when I check, it say born or birth. Co mean together, born together. So we will have something like co-nascence, that is born together, pre-nascence, that existed earlier, right? Or post-nascent, that will come later. So, sorry, we will see that three words. So among that co-nascence, we have altogether 4 factors. That is the chanda, desire. We know desire. Desire that is predominating. So what kind of desire? Like, yes, I want to recite Padhana. I want to practice meditation, not just by talking. Burning desire, very strong desire, which you will really materialize this, or you will implement that thought, such kind of desire, right? Then when there is such kind of desire, chanda is a mental state, cetasika, and it is included in the particular group. It means chanda can be either wholesome or unwholesome. Like the wish to listen to Dhamma, the wish to help others, the wish to share merit, the wish to offer service to others. These are wholesome desire. Like unwholesome desire, desire to harm others, talk ill of others, backbite others, desire to take other people's possession, like stealing, committing, telling lies. These are unwholesome desire. So it is particular, mean they are sort of common, or the anya samanya, neutral type. They would belong to the when they are with good mind, this is the good desire. When with evil intention, then evil desire as such. So chanda adipati, chanda sampayok daganam, dhamanam, tam samauthana nenja rupanam, adipati pachayena pachayo. It means when there is chanda, there are some jada that arises with that. And that chanda also brings changes to the, have some effect on the physical body. Right? When you are doing good, then you feel so peaceful. And like when you want to harm others, when I want to harm others because of anger also, as explained in the root condition or hetu pachaya, there is something uncomfortable or some prominent changes in my physical body as well. So we have another one, that is the effort of viriya, or energy. Again, this effort is the ardent effort to, ardent means very strong effort to accomplish. The Bodhisattva, or the Buddha to be, before attainment of the enlightenment, after he has already left the practices, the extreme practices, then the Buddha was has made the strong, very strong determination, let all the flesh or the blood dry up from my body, and even let the body die. I won't give this practice. I won't give up this practice. Sort of ardent effort, right? Here also, I believe that you also have all made this ardent effort to join this class, because you might have many commitments and your time is also precious. At least you try to share this time because of your ardent effort to learn Dhamma, what the Buddha has taught. And I also have to make effort as I prepare the class, right? So that is the ardent effort. So this effort also can be a predominant factor. That is the viriya and adhipati, we call viriya adhipati, right? Effort, predominance. Another one, jeta, consciousness. That is another one, strong. People say, oh, he or she has very strong mind, very determined mind. Once making decision or determination, will try to accomplish and never give up, such kind of mind. And another one, vimamsa, that is the wisdom. So here is a good translation, investigating wisdom, the wisdom that investigated, right? So in this way, predominance condition can be for chanda, desire, viriya, effort or energy, and then jeta, consciousness, and vimamsa, investigating wisdom. So here, along with that, there are some javana moments, which we call sadipati javana, because in the effect, it is there. So I just try to give you an account of that. And altogether, we have 55 javanas. I say that when I started introducing with this thought process, I say, I hope at least we will remember that time javana. Javana normally runs for 7 times. And javana literally means running with force. Running with force. That's why dynamic is the translation of the Rector Seattle. And mostly the books use the term impulsion, but we're not very sure with what the impulsion means. Dynamic, very active, or doing with force. So here we can see loba, dosa, we know that. Loba mula javana, dosa mula javana. It means in that thought process, either we have strong liking or attachment, would be loba mula javana, or when there is anger, dosa mula javana, or sometimes we're doing kusala, maha kusala javana, right? And then maha kiriya, for the arahanta, whatever they perform merit, it is termed as the functional maha kiriya jeda. And if you attain jhana, then your merit will be rupa kusala. And if you are arahanta with the jhana attainment, that would be rupa kiriya jeda. And in rupa vajra plane, then they all, most of them have the 5 aggregates. But in arupa plane means no physical body, only mental state arises. And then arupa kusala, arupa kiriya, and the highest mega phala, they all belong to this javana. And along with the adhipati, we have extracted 3. That is the hasitobada, that is the smile producing consciousness in arahant. And there is a new term for you if you are new to Abhidhamma. And we have also, you might notice, we have also leave aside moha mula jeda. So just to give you account of that. Another one, proximity condition, anandara pajaya. So the same thought process, the same thought process. And here, can you see the arrow? You see the arrow and the some abbreviation, REC. REC means receiving, right? Receiving. The man sleeping under the mango tree, he woke up, then he saw, pay attention, he saw the mango, he received it. And then he investigated. So I want to show you the connection between this receiving and investigating consciousness, right? Sampadejana and Sandirana. So I have this diagram. Then receiving consciousness and investigating consciousness, they arise one after another without any gap or any interval between, right? No interval at all. So this is what is meant by anandara. Andara means interval or gap. Anandara means no gap, no gap or no interval between. We can see that we have altogether 17 cycles that represent 17 chetas. all arises one after another without any gap in between. And they cannot skip the order as well, right? So this Manodhatu refer to that receiving consciousness. Tam Sambyodagaja Dhamma. Along with the consciousness, we have the mental states, Cetasika. And then Manovinyana Dhatuya. By Manovinyana Dhatu, we refer to the investigating consciousness. Tam Sambyodaganeja Dhammana. Along with the associated Cetasika. Anandara Pachayena Pachayo is related by proximity condition. So those who are new to Abhidhamma, that term would be new, like mind element and mind consciousness element. So here I have given you a count. Manovinyana Dhatu means remaining Jada except 3 Manodhatu and 10 sense consciousness. Sense consciousness means eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body consciousness. And since they are, one is the result of wholesome, that is the kusala vipaka is 5. Another result of unwholesome, akusala vipaka is 5. So altogether making 10. And manodhara vajana. By manodhara vajana, it refers to the attention of 5 door, attention consciousness in 5 door, panchadhara vajana, and this receiving sampadejana. So this is how the analysis is made in the Jada chapter. And the main point I would like to share here is Jadas in the thought process, or we can see all the 17 Jadas. They arise one after another without any gap or any interval. I've given you this because some people who recite this Pachaya Nedesa, it is there. I have extracted from there. What is the next one? The next one here. 7 moments of Javana. Right here, I refer to the dynamic moment, 7 moments of Javana. So that is either kusala or akusala. It means Javana may be either kusala. If you are doing good, like let's say now studying Dhamma, we have kusala jada. So the following kusala jada, Javana, is related to another one by means of this proximity condition. It means we have 7 moments of Javana and there is no gap in between is that. So the former one is related to the first one, is related to the second one by proximity, no gap. And the second to the third, third to the fourth, fourth to the fifth, and so on. So it is the meaning here. And another one, the next one, Samanandara. Contiguity or immediacy condition. That is the Samanandara condition, right? So this is identical with Anandara. Only one word different. Anandara, no gap, no interval. Samanandara, so the word sam is added. So all are exactly the same. And in the course, we can take all the Jadas and Cetasika, and except here, there is some exception, death or Chuti Jada of the Arahant, because Chuti Jada of the Arahant means Arahant has no more life, so it won't produce effect. That's why it has to be reduced in the, excluded in the course, right? So that is the meaning. Here I just go briefly. And connaissance condition, that is the Sahajada, born together, existing together, that is the meaning, right? For example, consciousness and mental states are born together, like the flame and the light, which arises earlier together. When you lit the wick, then the flame is there. When the flame appears, the light also appears at the same time, existing together. But we have different categories here, like primary elements are born together, Mahabhuta. Earth element, water element, fire element, and air element, they are born together, meaning they are existing together in a group. We have one one principle in the Rupa, that is the basic component of the Rupa, which is composed of 8 factors: 4 Mahabhuta, earth, water, fire, and air elements. Then we have visible object. Then we have sound, we have smell, and the nutritive essence, oja. So these 8 are inseparable. Later I will come up with this. So these primary elements, they are born together. They always depend on each other, always exist together. That is what is meant by born together. Like the family members, they exist together, born together. Like mind and matter are born together, and Jada produces changing in the body. That is the Jadaja Rupa. It means like healthy and happy mind produces healthy body. And unhealthy mind brings some changes to become unhealthy body as well. So this is how they are connected. Here, 4 mental aggregates are mutually related to each other. Now we're going a bit more detail. By this sahajata or connaissance condition. So in Pali we call Chattaro Khanda Arupino. Rupa we know is the physical body, matter. Arupino, not physical body, just refer to mental. Chattaro Khanda Arupino, it means 4 mental aggregates. Anyamanyam, mutually, sahajata, born together, existing together. So these 89 Jadas and 52 mental states, because 89 Jadas, they form the consciousness aggregate. Then I have been often repeating it, and people say that I don't understand what is the sankhara, right? Then feeling form aggregate itself, Vedana Khanda, and perception form aggregate itself, Sanya Khanda, and the remaining 50 mental states, that is the Sankhara Khanda. In that Sankhara Khanda, then we have this Loba, Dosa, Moha, all these are there, or your confidence, Saddha, or mindfulness, Sati, and like attention, Manasikara, motivation, it is there. And of course, we have compassion, we have appreciative joy, then there is loving kindness, lightness, softness, adaptability, all these are included in that Sankhara Khanda, right? 50 mental states apart from the feeling and perception. And another one, 4 primary elements are also mutually related to each other. Here I have given you a detailed account. Chattaro Mahabuddha. Chattaro means 4, Mahabuddha, 4 primary elements or 4 great essentials. Anyamanyam, mutually. Sahajata, coexisting. So earth, water, fire. And here I have explained you, again, recall your memory, components of 8 inseparable being, what we call Avinay Bhoga. And this primary element, along with visible object or form, that is Vana, smell, Ganda, taste, Rasa, and nutritive essence, Oja. So when we study about Rupa, I have explained, even in the smallest particle, these 8 matters are existing. Maybe I torn this tissue or I burn it, there is small powder. In that small powder, we have these 8 qualities. Or maybe you break this mouse, right? And there is a powder, and in that powder also we have this. And when the chair has been broken into pieces, even in the smallest particle, it is there. That's why they are 8 inseparable, known as 8 inseparable. Another one, at the rebirth moment, mind and matter are related to each other by connaissance condition. So the Pali say, Aukante kane. Aukante kana mean moment. Aukante kane mean at the moment of rebirth, patisandhi moment. But here use another synonymous term, Nama Rupam, mind and matter, Enya menya mutually, Sahajata, coexisting. So at the moment of rebirth, mind refer to one of 8 Mahavipaka Jeda, let's say our Patisandhi Jeda. And just now I say that when I explain Bhavanga, that Patisandhi Jeda has been continued in our life, and as it performs different function, it is given different name. At the very beginning, when it arises for the first time, because it links our past life with this present life, it is known as the rebirth linking Patisandhi, right? And as it continue our life, it performs the function of continuing life. So it's given another name, life continuum. That is the Bhavanga. And as it marks the end of our life, it is known as death consciousness Juti Jada. So the same kind of Jada, I don't say the same Jada, because Jada arises and passes away, it is replaced by another one. So I don't say the same Jada, the same type of Jada. When it arises for the first time in life, it is known as Patisandhi Jada. As it continues its life, it is known as the Bhavanga Jada. And as it ends or at its marks the end of this life, it is known as the death consciousness or Juti Jada, right? So along with that Jada, Jada never arises alone. We have the associated mental states. This is Nama at the moment of very first moment. And Rupa. By Rupa, we have studied in the Rupa chapter. Then at the very beginning, we started at the very tiny drop of water, Kalala, right? Clear water, the very tiny drop. Even in that water, there is the body decades. And either it started or to know already either male or female. And also the Hadaya Vatu or the basic decade already existed. So here I have explained, by decade, it refers to a group of 10. In Pali, we call Dasaka, and there are 10 kinds of rupa. So that 10 kinds of rupa mean 8 inseparable, and we have jivita, life faculty, and body sensitivity, that is the kaya pasada. So having this kaya pasada as the last one, that's why it is known as the kaya dasaka. So now, by this time, I hope that you will understand that Abhidhamma is like a jigsaw puzzle, as clearly given analogy by the former rector Sayadaw Usilananda, that knowledge or the information from Jada and our understanding from Rupa and also from Kama, Paticca Samuppada now become very much helpful and very much linking to each other, right? Before we saw the clear picture, it is difficult to guess. And for now, for this class, I have to skip many parts. But I hope that at least you will be able to see some parts clearly, like this is the leaf, this is the flower, even though you may not be able to see the whole tree, but at least I do hope that you will be able to see some part and you will be able to like nominated me what it is and what does it mean to us, right? Then moving on to the next one, we are still in the Sahajata or connaissance condition, and consciousness and mental states are related to matters. That is the Jeta Cetasika Dhamma. Jeta Samothananam Rupanam Sahada Jata Pachena Pachiyo. So along with the Jeta and Cetasika, and there is also Rupa there. So this is the meaning. And another one, Mahabhuta Upada Rupanam. Primary elements are related to the dependent matter. We have learned about altogether 28 matters, which is basically classified into two. The first one is the primary element, Mahabhuta, and the remaining matter. Apart from this earth, water, fire, and air element, all the remaining matters like eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, visible objects, sound, smell, taste, tangibility, the state of being male and female, nutritive essence, and all these, they belong to this dependent matter. So Mahabhuta Upada Rupanam Sahajata Pachena Pachiyo. So how the four primary elements can exist together with the remaining dependent matter. Here we have this again, come the components of the eight inseparable. So Patavi, Abo, Tejo, Vaya, four primary elements, and the other four of the basic unit being Vana, visible object, Ganda, smell, Rasa, taste, and Oja. So the explanations are all there. Then the next one, that is the mutuality condition. Enya menya pechaya. We are now in the 7th one. Actually, there are the heading of each slide, and due to some technical error, it doesn't appear. And I hope that it will appear as you print out or as you see. So if you cannot see, then let me know, please. So the cause and effect are all the same. It means all the consciousness, 89 consciousness and 52 mental states, they are mutually related to each other. That is Chataro Khanda Arupino Enya Menya Pechena Pecheo. So it means that here, for your understanding, in contemplating feeling, for example, in the Vipassana meditation, or even in our daily life, suppose there is some unpleasant feeling, then we try to contemplate, yes, this is unpleasant feeling, because we don't want to carry it long time. We would like to see and understand these are the working natures of the phenomena itself. So what do we have to do? First, we have to know and see, this is the feeling, just mere a feeling. So there is perception. If because we have noted this is sort of unpleasant thing or either pleasant thing, the perception is there. And the motivation, yes, it motivates us. Yes, try to contemplate so that it won't stay long, or something unpleasant or something painful that won't stay long and you won't suffer. So that sankhara or cetana motivated. And along with mindfulness, we have to be mindful. Yes, as the feeling arises, we have to note this is the feeling. This is the unpleasant feeling. This is pleasant feeling. Or suppose this is the mind. Yes, this is the peaceful mind, or this is the mind with anger, or the mind with lust, raga, or lobha, right? In that, we also need effort, viriya. It means how they are mutually relating. Because when we say that 89 jeta and 52 mental states, it sounds so technical. But what are these, right? So they are mutually relating to each other. So that's why, though the number seem to be, doesn't fit in or doesn't work, we also need to know the ingredients, right? So if you don't remember, you can also refer to the note, because sometimes I would just say the sankhara khanda, or the aggregate of mental formations. So this is the application part that we got to understand this. So here mutual conditions mean like 4 primary elements. They are mutually related, Patavi, Abo, Tejo, and Vayo. And mind and matter at rebirth, they are also mutually related. You know, Alkante Kane, Nama Rupam, Enya Menya Pechiyena Pechio, and Chataro Mahabuddha, Enya Menya Pechiyena Pechio. So if you're reciting Patthana and if you don't know the meaning yet, it's better to learn and understand so that you can really reflect on the nature. So this Patthana condition, or the relational, conditional relation, or this teaching on Patthana is to be contemplated even in our daily life. Because it just explains about the working nature of the mind and matter. There is nothing more than that, nothing apart from that. Merely how the conditions are relating to each other and helping us, supporting us, producing or reinforcing, making stronger. So this is the most important fact that we got to get from this. Another one, nesaya pachaya, dependence or support condition. Again, 4 mental aggregates are mutually dependent, but here, please see, mutually dependent. As they exist together, they are also depending on each other. The same dependence. Here, Chataro Khanda Arupino, 4 mental aggregates, Enya Menyam, mutually, Nesaya, dependent on each other. And then 4 primary elements are mutually dependent, and so are 4 mental aggregates. They are mutually dependent. As they exist, they take the same dependence. And again, mind and matter at rebirth are also mutually dependent. So you would see that there are lots of repetition here, it means that when we see how mind and matter are related, it is more than one condition. So you would often find this repeating, and later we have the summary table to see this. And consciousness and mental states are dependent for mind-born matter and so on. Okay, then the first one, this dependent condition, this is the sahajata, mutually dependence, and another one, purejata, that is born earlier. Like the Vatu purejata nesaya, base object prenascent support. It means I base is related to I consciousness by supporting condition. It means this visible object depend on the I for arising. That is simply this meaning only. And Jakhayatanam, Jakhu Vinyana Dhatuya, and Tam Samyodaka Nenjab Dhammana associated Dhamma, Nesaya Pechayena Pechayo, and also the heart base. Like I consciousness depend on I base, so is the body consciousness depend on body base, and the remaining consciousness depend on heart base. So this is the meaning. And another one, upanesaya. This is very, nesaya means supporting or the dependent. And upanesaya means strong, powerful dependence or the decisive support. That is the meaning. So again, it is threefold. That is the object decisive support, aramanupanesaya. Aramana object, upanesaya, that is the decisive support or strong support, powerful support. Again, actually, it is the same with the predominant object. When we were in the third condition, that is the adipati, I have given this example, that I have been thinking about the sound that another people talking ill of me. That sound has been influencing me, right? It become predominant object. That sound become predominant object. That is the aramana adipati. Now aramanupanesaya is also the same. That is the object. Here, outstanding object that draws our attention. That object might be something esteemed to be cherished, strongly desired, or even disliked one, like in my example. And another one, proximity. That is the wholesome Dhamma is related to wholesome, and the next wholesome Dhamma by decisive condition. So here later I will have example, okay? Purima. So that preceded, that comes before Kusala Dhamma, the meritorious deed that arises before. Pachimanam, Kusalanam, Dhammanam, Upanesya Pechena Pechayo. So the former merit is the supporting condition for the later merit to happen. So we can have this example. How? This is the kusala, the role of kusala, let's say. How kusala can bring about akusala. So it is strange, right? It would be strange. For example, purity of virtue. Some people, they observe the virtue very well. So they are virtuous person. But what happened? Mana or pride can arise. I am such a virtuous person and other people are not virtuous. You know, the observance of the pure morality is the kusala. And depending on kusala, akusala might arise. We have to be very careful. If there is pride, then this pride is akusala. And giving charity, that you build a building to the temple, or you have offered some donation, maybe robe or food or whatever, and later you see something inconvenient, or maybe you see that a person become unvirtuous, or like there is some unhappy mind arises, then, or maybe you spend more than what you have intended, or there can be many things And when you are doing charity, you are doing happily. But when somebody would interrupt, then there is remorse arises, right? Gocha arises. Oh, that person say, oh, you shouldn't donate here. You shouldn't donate to Sayalay. You should have donated to some other place. And there is remorse arises. Oh yes, I should have donated to another place, and so on. And this is another one regarding jhana attainment. One attained jhana, and there is clinging or attachment to that. So how kusala is related to akusala by this upanasya, or decisive support condition. Again, the first, like in the first example, purima, kusala dhamma, the former kusala, pachimana, kusala dhammana, to the later arising of kusala, it serves as the support. So how you can multiply, let's say, merit? Then after you observe more virtue, then your mind is very pure, then you are ready to practice meditation. So kusala followed by kusala. And with the confidence or saddha, you offer alms food to the sangha, right? Because of kusala, saddha, then you are ready to do any good or any wholesome action. This is kusala to kusala. And you perform marriage and share with others. So at the end of our class, this is what we will do today. We have accumulated merit for these 8 weeks, then we will share with others. So the merit that we gain from learning or organizing this course, and I'm imparting my knowledge, and if we share with others, we multiply, right? So this is how kusala produces kusala. And now come the role of akusala. So after taking alcohol commits adultery. So akusala, because of this akusala, another akusala is followed. And telling lies, a person tell lie and deceive others. Double akusala, right? And stealing weapon and commits robbery. So because of akusala, the first akusala or unwholesome or unethical action support another unwholesome thing to commit or to perform. But what is more important? Akusala produces kusala, right? This sounds strange. After killing animal, then people make charity, right? Maybe a butcher or somebody who sell meat, they kill some animal, but the purpose is for the making charity. So the killing animal is akusala, but making charity is kusala. And with clinging me, by offering this kind of merit, may I be reborn in the celestial abode. It means with the clinging to the celestial abode, then we might offer alms as well, right? So akusala to kusala. So, and another one, decisive support condition, it is very broad. Even in our daily life, like we live in our society, we cannot live alone. And association with a virtuous person will lead us to do something good. And if I associate with some person who spends so much and who indulges in the sensual pleasure, I would also do the same, or I would lead to some addiction if I associate with the drug addicted person and so on. Like the season, cold weather, hot weather, and now the weather is just moderate here in Yangon, though it is winter, it is not very cold. So it's just moderate enough. And food, good food, fresh food, suitable food, it gives us energy. But when we eat something spoiled food, not fresh, not suitable for my health, also it gives some changes in my physical body. And dwelling place. Now we are fortunate enough to live in a clean and tidy place. So we are healthy. We have good environment. It is airy, and we have some fresh air and with some trees around. So we are lucky. This is how the senasana, or the dwelling place. And if the place is untidy or the environment is also not clean or polluted, then there is effect in us. And another one, Purijata, that is born earlier. Born earlier. Like the moon and the sun already existed at the beginning of the world cycle. So as they arises earlier, they give benefit to us by giving warmth or by giving light or by giving coolness. And Aramana Purijata, object that is born earlier. So here, sense objects are born earlier than sense consciousness. Suppose here, this is the adapter. The adapter, let's say this is, you see this for the first time. You have never seen this particular adapter, I mean, because this is my adapter. Only when I show you, you can see it. But I have put this adapter on the table since the beginning of this class, right? So it already existed. And only when I show you, then you pay attention, you can see. So this visible object, it arises or it existed earlier than the seeing consciousness, right? So this is the example, Aramana Purijata. Vatu Purijata, base born earlier than seeing consciousness. Your eye base is already there, right? Only when I show this adapter, then you can see. So this eye base arises earlier than the seeing consciousness. That is Purijata. It already existed since you are young, right? But only when I show this, you have this seeing consciousness. So this eye base existed earlier. That is the Purijata. Another one here, the same example that I have already explained. In number 2, being born earlier than eye consciousness. This is the series of thought. It runs for 17 thought moments. In the example, the mango already fell down before the man sees that, right? So the object already existed before that seeing consciousness. So that is arises earlier, and post-nascent, that is arises later. Arises later. Like here the commentary gives this example. Vulture that barks. They often dwell or they often live on the foul things, or they eat foul animals or the dead body or so, right? Then traditionally, the mother won't bring food to the baby vulture, it says that. But the baby has the expectation that mother will bring food, and with that expectation that it survives. So the food, the baby vulture or the offspring has the expectation that the mother will bring food to him or her to eat, then that animal, that creature survive. So this is how the nutriment that would come or that he or she will have it give benefit to this body. This is post-nascent condition. And again, now this is the winter here in Myanmar. And so far we don't have rain, for example. But so the trees and the plants are a bit dry, we have to water. Then let's say they are waiting for water. So just like the rainwater that fall later promotes the growth and development of the tree that are already existed. And again, I hope it is the same with this participant. Suppose you are new to this class, and first you didn't understand what Abhidhamma means to you. But with the expectation that at the next lecture, second, third, fourth, the fifth lecture, the sixth lecture, the last lecture, I hope I will be able to understand with that expectation and with that belief or with that thought. Suppose you join, this is also Pachajada, right? Post-nascent condition. And repetition condition, that is the Asevana Pachaya. It means we have to repeat it, doing again and again. Like at the beginning of our class, we recite Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Even if I woke up from the bed, I can recite. At any time you can recite without any mistake, because we have been repeating so often. Again, in the same way we do chanting. especially after class, I try afternoon chanting, my thought goes to the class. What I have explained or what I will do next week, or I would reflect on this Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta or another Lekkhana Sutta, that I will explain this in the next lecture. The thought go there. But suppose I'm digested, I'm just reciting itself because it has been repeatedly recited. It is going itself. So it is the meaning. So repeated learning lead to the thorough understanding of lesson and remembering as well. So here we can see. But for this repetitive condition, we think about only the dynamic or jhana moment. So here, former kusala jhana is related to later kusala jhana by repetitive condition. Let's see, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seven. We have 7 moments of jhana. Which moment you think would be the strongest? The last one, right? Because the second one gets support from the first one, and the third one gets support from the former 2, and the last one gets support from all these things. Like Abhidhamma, like our class. This is the last one, the 8th lecture. So at least your knowledge and understanding would be increasing. Or if you already learn, you would refresh. Or you would understand better, you would understand clearer. So this is the meaning. So another one is the karma condition. By karma, we have 2 kinds. So karma is often compared to the seed that is well planted. And co-nascent karma and asynchronous karma, that is the sahajata karma. Now, because of the cetana associated with all type of ceta. Now I'm explaining you with the kusala cetana, and you're also trying to pay attention. There is also kusala cetana, and there might be some other akusala cetana as well, like torturing other, telling lie, and all these things. Backbiting, that is with akusala cetana. That is at the same time happening with at the same time. And asynchronous karma, nanakanika karma means our past karma and the result, they are different, right? Because of our past karma, now we are born as a human being. So the action or the karma was in the past and the result is now. So the performing of action and the result happen at different time, nanakana, that is the meaning. So the details, I have all this explanation in the chart. And resultant condition, that is the vipaka pacaya. That is the result produced by causes. So for the resultant, here is a good example. The text says, relaxing in the cold breeze leisurely. You don't do anything, just relax. It means for the resultant, we can't do anything, right? Or what we can do is what we can manage is only in the cause. But for resultant, we can't do anything. It will just come. And we just have to wait and see the result or the benefit. And the nutriment condition, that is the nama ahara and rupa ahara. Actually, we have seen this when we study about the kappalikara ahara, edible food. We have another term, oja, right? This oja is included in the basic unit of matter. For Mahabhuta, and then visible objects, sound, smell, taste, and this nutritive essence is there. So this ahara is twofold, nama ahara and rupa ahara. By nama ahara, rupa ahara, it refers to in the edible food that we take, there is the rupa ahara, and also form part of the material group. And nama ahara, we have already seen phassa. By ahara, we have to understand that produces effect. So phassa causes vedana, right? In the paticca samuppada. So phassa is also ahara. And cetana, because of motivation, then we do activities, that is the sankhara paccaya vijnana. And the 4th one, rebirth consciousness bring about nama and rupa. It may vijnana paccaya nama rupa. These all belong to the paticca samuppada. And the faculty condition, that is the faculty means exercising power. It is like the minister or the regional chief. They have authority or power only in their respective field. Like Minister for Education cannot manage anything for the health affairs. Like in the same way, I can only see, I cannot hear, I cannot smell, I cannot think, right? So in the same way, ear also can only hear, ear cannot see, ear cannot touch, ear cannot smell. So they have their respective function. So the 5 sensitive matter, they also belong to the Purejatendriya, that is the pre-nascent faculty. And then, what is the next one? We have material life faculty, that is the Rupa Jivitendriya. Rupa Jivitendriya, it also contained in the Rupa Kalapa. So it has exercise or power, control, power or authority in that group. And we also have the 15 material faculties, including the Jivita, Jada, Vedana, Sada, and so on. It means Sada means it has authority or power only in the believing in karma and its result and so on. Another one, absorption condition, jhana condition. That is the close contemplation on an object. Maybe during meditation, you watch very closely. Kasina object. Kasina object means, for example, the white kasina. You prepare a dish of kasina and you contemplate only on that white circle. Then you can contemplate this is as white, 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 and till even when you close your eye, you can visualize that object, right? So this is how the absorption condition, and also you can contemplate on the impermanent nature of the things. And we have 5 jhana factors: Vitaka, initial application; Vichara, sustained application; joy, piti, feeling, and one-pointedness. These actually we have already seen in the mental states or cetasika, especially in the some in the particular and some in the universal group. So, and then mega, we all know about the 8 factors of mega, right? Right view, right action, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right concentration, and right wisdom, right? So the path is the path condition, mean constituent of these 8 factors, and the means or ways for reaching a particular destination, either blissful or woeful. For example, vayama, effort. Sama vayama means right effort. Right effort means we may try to make right effort, not to let unwholesome thing arisen. And what unwholesome thing or akusala arisen in us, we will try to reduce, right? And at the same time, we will try to develop wholesome thing. And what has been developed, we will try to increase. This is the function of 4 right efforts. And again, in the wrong effort as well, people make effort in harming others, in killing, making effort in killing, making effort in like telling lies. So as a result, they will go to the apaya. Mega means the path condition. So this is the meaning. And then association condition, like butter, oil, honey, and molasses. We call what we call chatumadu. 4 things are mixed together. And it says that it is suitable to be taken even after midday. If we are sick, we can take this and we can take medicine. So when they are mixed, like another example, milk and water cannot be separated. They are very well blended. And in the same way, consciousness and mental states, they are so thoroughly mixed that they cannot be differentiated. I'm talking, this is the eye consciousness, this is contact, feeling, perception, motivation, attention. Though we are saying this, it is difficult to take out and differentiate each other because they are so well mixed or so well blended, right? This is the association. Dissociation, like here we have example. 6 tastes: sweet, sour, spicy, salty, tart, and bitter tastes. Though they are different, maybe a curry or dish or a cuisine may have different tastes. Maybe sweet and spicy, with a little tint of the sourness as well. Though they are different, they can be together by the means of this dissociation condition. It means cause and effect are different in nature, but they can relate to each other. We have different nature, but we all live in the same community, right? Like dissociation condition. Especially it refers to mind relating to matter and matter relating to mind, right? Matter or the rupa has the nature of changing, transforming, perishing, spoiling, and nama has the nature of bending towards the object. They have the different nature, but they can relate to each other by means of this dissociation condition. Now, these are some details that I have given in the chart. And prenascence and non-disappearance, ati and avigada, they are the same. So like earth is the support for the mountains or the buildings and for us living being to depend on. And in the same way, the presence, condition, and non-disappearance, I have recently explained that, right? In the object and I consciousness. So they are the same in meaning. Presence means it does not disappear, right? So they are the same. Like the parent, they support the children while they are present. So they have, we have different kinds. That is presence by connaissance, that is born together, right? Born together is one thing. And then prenascence, born earlier is one thing. Like the five senses, they are related to sense consciousness because five senses already existed. So the five senses that already existed are relating to I consciousness by power of being existed or born earlier. And again, five sense objects, they are relating to I consciousness that is born later. So this presence, ati and avigada, they all are the same. And so is the nati and vigada. Nati means absence. So absence or disappearance of light contribute to the appearance of darkness. So when the light disappears, the darkness appears. If there were light, the darkness cannot come, right? It means the disappearing or the absence of light give the chance for the darkness to appear. That is the meaning. And in the same way, when the sun disappears, the moon can come out. It means they shine at different time. Or the death of the king contribute to the enthronement of the prince. When the father is no more there, the son will become prince. So the absence or the disappearance of the king gives the opportunity for his son to take the throne. So in the same way, consciousness and mental state pass away and disappear, provide the appearance of another set of mental states. So now we come to the end of 24 conditions, and the first, second, third, and 23 has been covered. And because of I have covered all the, let's say 22, 23 conditions, we come to the end. So it means the earlier incidents give the chance for the former, the next to come. If I couldn't have finished 2, 3, 4, I couldn't come to 24 directly like that, right? So the completion or the explanation on the completion of former one reach to the final one. So we will conclude with this chart. I hope not very late yet. So this 24 condition has been explained in the Abhidhamma Sangaha in the name of cause and effect. We can see the first one, nama is related to nama in that we have 6 conditions, anandara, proximity, samanandra, contiguity, nati, absence, vigada, non-disappearance, asevana, repetition, sambhyoga, association. So this is the chart. Nama to nama and nama to nama rupa, that is by hetu, like how the aloba, adosa, and amoha, this is the nama, bring changes to the physical body, along with the cetasika, nama, and rupa, and so on. The third one, nama to rupa. Fourth, rupa to nama. And the fifth, Panyati Nama and Rupa to Nama, and the last one Nama Rupa and Nama Rupa each other. So it has been summarized in this chart. So actually what I have shared with you today is the very introduction to the Patthana, and my knowledge on the Patthana is also very limited. But my wish is that since I have introduced you with this, you would explore further. And as you recite Patthana, for those who recite Patthana also, I encourage that you try to make the meaning better. And if there are some chances, opportunity, then I hope that we will meet sometime later. And for the time being that I'm not able to fix for the next series of lectures in English yet. And I hope you will kindly understand. I have some commitment to work for our college, and also after this class, I will have this Abhidhamma class with the same theme in Burmese. So that will go for some time, but I do hope that we can meet again. And thank you so very much for staying up to the end of the 8 lectures. And I really appreciate that you all proved to be very dedicated, even though I have not expected this much. And I don't know what will be the next program for our organizers, like maybe they let you talk a while, or we share merits. Or also thank you so very much to our organizers for organizing this course, and for each and everyone for their participation, and for your trust in me, and to let me share my knowledge. And also I really appreciate all your contribution, that contribution in the sense of spiritual support and the monetary financial support as well. The organizers have very well arranged, and you also have received a list, I hope. So now I leave the floor to the organizers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sayalay, for very accelerated the last session, almost level 3 to condense into the one single chapter. So actually, I like to explain about our donation flow. That actually what we have done, because some of you may wonder how we manage our donation, right? So actually, okay, this is actually diagram that we come up with. So as the organizer, we open up our bank account to accept the donation from multiple donors from different countries. So through the mobile payment, internet banking, TD transfer, PayPal, and Western Union, right? So of course, after some of the donor, maybe we directly donate to the AR account in the Myanmar side to the Sayalay, the Tajadiha College account. So as the organizer, we don't actually take any single cent. Whatever we receive with the various the currency, we will convert it to Myanmar Chat, and we will later on we will consolidate and we will transfer to the AR account, right? So we are thankful for some donor who actually never gave up. He tried many times or many methods. Actually, they try to TD transfer, bounce back, and they try any other way, and finally found that Western Union and all that. So we thankful for those people who put extra effort to try multiple way of making donation happen. Then also thanks for filling up the donation form in the Google, because actually our bank transaction, we have a very limited information to trace your donation to the right line item. So thank you for your extra mile to fill up the donation form. So it make it easier for us to actually make a clear the accounting. So this actually a few slides, I will go through a few lists of the donor. So I also email to you, but while we are speaking, some of the donor, actually I'm still receiving some of the donor. So those donor may not be reflected in this list, right? So yeah, we will update, and usually we will email back to you once we total out something, right? So now, as today we sum up together, we have Singapore dollar 670 $6,721, US dollar 1,180. This is a Myanmar chat, 1,090,000. And to the Canadian dollar is a $703. So we convert it as a today exchange rate. It will be approximately about Singapore dollar $10,040, or approximately US dollar about the 7,466. So thanks again for all your generous donation. And now I would like to request Sayalay to lead the marriage sharing session, please. Sayalay, please.
So we do the marriage sharing now, or you let people talk before this? What is your plan?
You open 10 minutes, you say.
Okay. Or shall we do the sharing first, and then later on we do the casual thoughts? Yeah.
Okay. So actually, this sharing of merit, which we call Anumodana, right? We know modati means rejoice. Anumodati means rejoicing again and again. Just like in the Upanasya, especially the last one, Pakatu Upanasya, natural decisive support, we try to accelerate or accumulate our merit. Like what kind of merit we have gained from this? Prior to the organizing of this course, the organizer, they have to put lots of effort to communicate with me and to wait for me patiently. But they have requested since quite some time back to organize this class, but there were some delays. And when this happened also, they have to take all the responsibilities. Since I am not technical know-how, Mr. Charlie, Go Jolwe, and Maswe, they have to, how do we say that? They have to manage through the team viewer so that the class could start it. So in the technology, I am like a child and quite ignorant. So I have to depend on them for that part, and also for the organizing. And there are lots of time and commitment to make this happen. And I really appreciate each and everyone for being with me throughout these 8 weeks. And for those who are not in the Zoom class, but who join through the live classes, or who listen later, or who even encourage me. Like I have some sisters, they know a bit of English, but they say that they don't understand well, but they try to listen from the beginning to the end. I mean, like how people show support to me and how people trust me. Actually, we have many scholars in Myanmar, and I'm very fortunate to be a Myanmar since I got the teachings from the scholar monks, scholar nuns, and the lay scholars. And throughout my life, I have learned Abhidhamma, let's say for over 20 years, but what I know is very little. But it is because of your trust in me that I could conduct this class. If you didn't show your trust and appreciation to me through the text message and in many ways, I'm sure that I won't be able to continue. So we have come to the end of these 8 lectures. And throughout these 8 lectures, we have accumulated so much merit. You have spared your precious time and energy. You have saved your time and energy to join this class and show your support in many ways. And what is more important from joining this class is that we put into practice what we have learned. And I like the teaching of the one Tipitaka Sayadaw in Myanmar, more renowned as the Yo Sayadawji. Sayadawji said that when there is no practice, the knowledge or the learning are just death, are just die. Only with the practice, our knowledge, our learning, and what we know will come into alive and lively. So with keeping this in mind, I believe that you all continue to study, or at least when you have time, there are many teachers who are teaching Abhidhamma, like our teacher Rector Sayadaw, Dr. Nanda Malapiwamsa. There are many teachings of Sayadaw's teaching on Dhamma download website, and also Sayadaw also has given 6 introductory lectures. And in Singapore, we have this Venerable Chakabala Lokabala Sayadaw. He is also given Abhidhamma in English. And in Myanmar, we have even a lot more scholars, very famous teachers, the monk scholars, the nun scholars, and even the lay scholars. And Dhamma Vyuha Siamaji Dr. Latin is also very famous, and she is a very great teacher. And I would recommend that you continue your Abhidhamma study from all these teachers. And as for me, if I have chance, I would be happy to share my knowledge and understanding with you as well. So each and every bit of merit that we have gained throughout these 8 weeks, and also those who encourage me, because Abhidhamma say that merit, either you perform yourself, or either you have the same mind, and either you praise or you appreciate, or even you do yourself. You do yourself, you encourage or you motivate others, and then you appreciate it, and you do with the same mind. This multiply 4 times. So I do hope that we share our merit, the merit that we have accrued from organizing this class, joining this class, attending this class, and my sharing of Dhamma in this class, and all the support that you have shown to me, either spiritually or financially. May all these merit be the support to the attainment of the enlightenment. And before we attain enlightenment, if there are lives that we have to wander, or if we go in the samsara, I sincerely wish and aspire that may we born in the abodes where we are endowed with the knowledge of knowing what is right and what is wrong, and may we be able to practice accordingly. So I would like to share our merit, all of our merit, with our guardian deities, and the guardian deities at your home and each and every corner of the world, and all the guardian deities who protect this Sakyadhita Buddhist College SBC, and to our parents, to our teachers, and to our benefactors, and to each and everyone who are waiting for our merit to rejoice in, okay? And to all the beings in the 31 planes of existences, and also to the guardian deities of the Buddha Sasana, then we share our merit. So maybe we can recite together, even though maybe I don't hear you, then. So now can everyone speak?
You hold on, Sayalay. I will unmute all.
Okay. So if you would like to repeat after me, then please do. Or if you just would like to listen, please remain. But please pay attention, okay? May we share.
May we share.
We share
Our dedicated merits.
our merits.
Our dedicated merits.
Our dedicated merits
To our guardian deities.
to our guardian deities,
To our teachers.
our teachers,
Our parents.
parents,
And the guardian deities of the Buddha Sasana.
the guardian deities of Buddha,
And to those who are waiting to rejoice in our merit.
and those who are waiting to rejoice our merits,
And to all beings in the 31 planes of existence.
to the all beings of existence.
May they gain. our share of merit
Our share of merit
with us.
with us.
Actually,
With us.
as with us.
May they gain
May they gain
our share of merit
our
Share of merit
equally with us.
equally with us.
May they gain
May they gain
our share of merit
our share of merit
equally with us.
Equally with us.
Sadhu. Buddha Sasana, May there be all blessings, may deities protect you. By the power of the Buddha, by the power of the Dhamma, by the power of the Sangha, may we all be well, happy, peaceful, and put our knowledge into practice and attain enlightenment.
Okay, now maybe I request you to turn on your video, and we will actually have some short conversation with Sayalay, and later on we will.
No.
Sayalay.
Turn off your video.
Turn on the video.
Turn on the video, please.
Turn on the video.
On your device.
Turn on the video, please. Can't be my
Hold on.
We would like to take the group photo.
Sorry, tipong terang
Okay, we will remove the gallery view. Okay.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Sayalay.
Anyway, let me make the print screen first for each page. Wait, I have a total 6 pages, so you hold on for a while. So I will take snapshot one by one.
Oh, they must take a snapshot.
You all can check with Sayalay.
Meanwhile, you can really ask Sayalay any question you like to ask. Not a question.
No questions, just normal chatting.
Okay, 3 pages.
Thank you, Sayalay. I hope after this COVID era, I can come and meet you in person and pay my respect.
For joining this video section so that I could see you all, like most of you. We thank you. We thanks to the organizers and all the participants and the innovators for inventing such a wonderful technique so that we all from the different globe of the world can meet together and share with what we understand. It is wonderful.
Thank you, Sayalay, for your wonderful teaching.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Also for remaining for this section, some would be, it would be like almost midnight, some would be midday, some time for taking meal. And thank you so much for your patience to stay all the way up to the end.
I think I have taken enough snapshot. Thank you so much for turning on your video so that we have some kind of records for you. Yeah. So maybe
I hope that.
Yes.
Yes.
I hope that Dhamma
okay.
Download would arrange such course in future.
Okay.
Sure, sure. We will keep you informed. Once we have some.
I owe you that because I couldn't explain in all details, and I could just what I could give you is just the taste, or as said by Mr. Charlie. He said this is a tasted course or tasted course. So hopefully we will meet sometime again later. Till then, all the best.
Yeah, we hope so.
Okay, thanks everybody. We will meet you
Bye,
if we have another session. We will keep you informed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Charlie.
Thank you, Sayalay.
Thank you,
Sayalay. Bye-bye.